Hey guys, this is Jody with C.O.D. Outdoors. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for taking your time to watch this video. Thanks for all the new subscribers and all the faithful subscribers that I have. It's good to be out today. You know, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Thankful for God for this beautiful day. We got a blanket of snow here today in West Virginia. We don't have very much, maybe an inch right here. On the other side of the mountain, it's completely gone. It's already melted away. Today it's supposed to get up to 30 and it's pretty chilly right now. The reason I came out today, guys, is to hone my bushcraft skills. I'm going to do some fire starting, some water collecting, some water purification, some things like that, and just to hone my skills, because you need to stay on top of these things in case you should need them for survival. And today's a great day to do that. So we get to practice in the snow, which we don't get to do very often. We have to collect wood, find some dry tinder, some dry pieces of wood that we might be able to burn. And I'm also going to try something I've never done. I'm going to try to melt some of this snow to drink and see how that goes. There's also a water source just right over here that's dripping off the rock. I'm not going to mess with that today. I'm going to use the snow as much as I can to see how much water I can get and to see what it tastes like. Thanks for coming today, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. First thing I'm going to do, guys, is collect some dry tinder to get the fire started. And this right here is a birch tree. It's a water birch. It goes next to the creek. And you can see up all the way up there, it's got these little paper-like things hanging off the side of it. And this right here is a great fire starter. It's got natural oils in it that actually ignite very good with the ferro rod, with the match, whatever you might have. I want to use flint and steel and see, you know, if we can still do it. It's been a while since I've used these flint and steel skills, so I want to get that under control with some char cloth and see if we can't get a flame going enough to get us a fire. It doesn't take a whole lot of this stuff, guys. All you got to do is just get these little loose pieces hanging off. It doesn't damage the tree in any way. This is a natural process of the tree to shed its bark. But the bark is highly flammable. It's full of a lot of oils, and it works really good for fire starting. If we could only reach up there to get that good stuff. But this right here should be enough, guys, to get a fire started. So we are going to put this in our pocket to keep it dry. And now we got to find some something dry to put down on the ground so that the fire doesn't soak up all that moisture. So we need some good sized logs, about 2.5 to 3 inches round, to make a base on the ground. So we don't want to look on the ground for anything, because we know that's going to be wet. If we could find a dead standing tree, that would be the perfect thing, guys. And if we can't find that, we'll have to try to find something else that's maybe fallen already and is off the ground. See this right here, for instance. This piece right here that's fallen. This has been here for a while. It may be wet in the middle. The only way to know is to saw through it. So we're going to saw a piece of this off and see what it looks like. You guys can see that? It feels dry to me, so what I'm going to do is cut a couple pieces about as long as this side beam on my saw, and then baton it down the middle with my knife to get me a fire base. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Should be good enough for a base. Build our fire on. All right. Birch. It's up off the ground, little pieces here. We'll get some of this. A lot of success in your fire is the time you take to prep your stuff, your materials. You always need smaller stuff to start off with. But we're gonna see what we can do here. We'll clear out a small place here, guys, to put this fire base down and get these leaves back out of the way. We've got these two pieces that we collected. I'm going to use one to baton the other, so that's how that's going to work. And if you don't know what batoning is, guys, this is right here is what it is. You take one piece, use your knife like this, and just split it down the center like that. I would recommend, if you're going to do batoning, to have a full tang knife, and what that means is it's solid from the tip all the way to the back of the knife. It's a solid frame knife. This is a very useful skill to have for bushcrafting. Process your wood. Alright, you can see here I processed up some smaller stuff, and I've got some bigger stuff here. I just batoned out another piece of that to make it smaller. And then I've got some actual limbs here that I can use. These are birch limbs. If they're dry, they should do pretty good. But this right here, guys, all this does is get it off of the ground, the wet ground, the moist ground, because moisture will draw the heat straight out of your fire, and it just won't work, trust me. So what this is an elevated platform, a dry surface for our fire to have a chance to come alive and survive. So we've got our fire kit here. We got it in a dry bag. And then inside, you guys have seen my fire kit before. It's a piece of canvas that I just put a drawstring in. And inside, I've got a redundancy of ways to start a fire. I've got a ferro rod. I even carry a lighter. Why wouldn't you? It's just crazy not to. And this is my flint and steel kit here with char cloth inside. And this is what we're going to be trying to use today. I've also got some fat wood in here that my brother Eddie gave me, some cotton, and there's some remnants of birch bark in here that I'm going to sprinkle on this wood. you know, the smaller this is, the easier for it is to catch a flame. With this flint and steel, all you got is a piece of flint, of course. This is a steel that I made out of a farrier's rasp that works really good. It's real hard. And this is some char cloth that I made. And you want to keep that as dry as you can. And there's tons of videos online that shows how you make this, guys. If you would like me to go further into depth on that, I could do a short video to show you how to do that. But let's get our birch bark. I'm gonna get some of it out. Of course, there's an abundant supply up here. There's more than just one of those birch trees. We're gonna lay this here until we can get a spark on our char cloth and get a little coal going. We can put that in the center of this bird nest and blow it into flame. That's our plan anyway. That's the way it's supposed to work. So here's the way I do it. And all we do is take our char cloth, put a piece on top of the flint here, and hold it with our thumb. And that what'll happen is the spark will fly into that char cloth and it'll just start smoldering. If it works like it's supposed to. See that? See that little smolder right there, guys? Drop that down in our birch. Move this stuff out of the way. All right, that piece of char cloth was not big enough. With these things, you may have to try several different tries. You may not always get it on the first try, but you gotta keep trying, guys. You know, I try to use the scenario in my head that, you know, if I have to do this for me and my family, I wanna be ready. I'm gonna try a little bit of piece of this cotton that I have here. I'm gonna put it in the middle here. I think this is attempt number 3, if I'm right. Just need a little help from that cotton. Now we got to keep it going.